they announced the nominees for the Game Awards today, which this is just something I know that you were thinking about while you were listening. Do you notice how when Jeff Keighley's excited about a particular game, he says it more excitedly when he's announcing the nomination? Like, you can tell he's excited that the Balatro is in Game of the Year. He's like, Balatro! Like, he gets like a little stint in his voice.
This is the Keighley twist, though. You never know. Is he excited, or is he just excited because he knows the internet's going to be excited?
I think it's,
you can never quite tell.
The latter. I think you're right. But I think that's how he gets his excitement. So it's one and the same anyways.
He feeds off. I think he does feed off the internet. Yeah. He lives and breathes feedback. Absolutely.
Of course he does. Every time he does an announcement, he immediately posts, how was my announcement? And he puts grade letters. And I'm like, why are you making us grade you, Jeff Keighley? Just take the win of being one of the biggest influences in the industry. We don't have to give you a D score right now.
Yeah, he had this social media post the other day where I thought it was weird, where he just said, "Do I look handsome, mommy?" I was like,
it was filled with no's. And I'm wondering why he does that to himself.
Bad Jeffy, and then there's an option in the poll for light spanking. It felt really weird.
It was really weird, and I try. That's kind of why I'm not as into Twitter these days. Is just because of Jeff Keighley's weird
spanking polls.
They're not on Blue Sky. That's why I like it over there a bit better. Anyways, so
Haley, I haven't looked at the nomination list at all. I'm flying blind into this. It's better content, so I was delighted to ignore the internet today.
All right, well, let's end with Game of the Year. We've got to start there. But yeah, there was quite a few. Final Fantasy Rebirth was in quite a few of these. I thought you'd be excited about that.
Okay. Are we down to it? Is this Game of the Year time?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna try and guess it.
Okay.
I think Balatra's up there.
Balatra's up there. Woo!
Are there 6?
There's 6. Yeah.
Okay. I think Rebirth is up there.
Rebirth is up there.
The way it should be. All is right with the world. Is Erdtree up there?
Erdtree is up here.
Interesting. Okay. Is...
I think you can get these. Boy. I think you can get these with no mistakes.
Can you give me hints?
I just said you could do it, and then you really asked for hints.
Well, I mean, I could get it with hints.
Okay, one of them is a platformer.
Wait, but we said Astrobot, right?
Did you already say Astrobot? I don't think you did.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
I think I did.
You said Balatro, Rebirth, and Erdtree.
Oh, okay. Astrobot. Okay, got it. Yeah. I'm going to go with, is Helldivers 2 up there?
No.
Ooh, Stingy Alley.
The last 2 are single-player games.
Metaphor?
Mm-hmm. Woo, Metaphor.
Yeah, and then golly gee willikers. Did Prince of Persia get up there?
No.
Oh. Can you give me a hint?
It's very Shadow of the Colossi. Colossi? Colossus.
It is? Did I like it?
No, you didn't even play a second of it, I don't think.
Is it Wukong?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wukong's up there. Which makes sense. Like, that game is so huge outside of our Western lens. Like, we can't even conceive on how big that game is.
And it is an international nomination pool. So, okay.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
What is your vibe on Erdtree being Game of the Year as a DLC? What's your gut reaction?
I heard whispers that the internet was outraged about this notion. And the idea that, there was, clarification from Keighley that like DLC can count. Mm-hmm. I think you count it. It's a huge package. I think you gotta count it. I mean, why discredit that team's work for something so well done that's that big? Like, I think
that's what it is the bigness. Like, if this had been 20% less map size, if this had been 30%, 40%, where does it... I'm just so... As someone who hasn't played Erdtree or finished Elden Ring, I only played like 10 hours of Elden Ring. I'm curious how everyone that played it was like, yes, absolutely, this is big enough. You know what I mean? There was it was a de facto obviousness to it. And having not played it, I was like, why though? Why is it obvious to people who've played it that this is big and good enough to warrant being a new game, even though the dev itself calls it a DLC outright,
Right. Yeah, it is tricky, but I think if it's just like if from the nomination pool it had that big of an impact on people.
Yeah.
You know, you're not seeing let's see, I'm trying to remember Phantom Liberty from last year with Cyberpunk. I think that was the same thing. I think it got some nominations, didn't it?
But like, yeah, there's definitely DLCs in the past that I think of that I'm like, that was like playing a whole new game. Like The Witcher 3 Blood and Wine immediately jumps to my brain.
Okay. What's the difference then, other than you just haven't played it?
I don't know. It's hard because it's such a subjective classification. Like, I guess I'm coming at it from a very annoying legal brain where like when we're describing, like when we define what the game is, we say not including all these things. And then like DLC will be in its own package and then we'll talk about sequel rights somewhere else. So if I was the lawyer for FromSoft and, you know, they granted sequel rights to somebody else and then made this DLC, I wonder if it's big enough that it's like a sequel that's hiding as a DLC. You know what I mean? It's like, is it just the word that they used internally and in their marketing is the only reason that any of us have a hiccup to not saying, obviously, maybe. This is like a Game of the Year contender. Like if they had just called this a spinoff, but you know, they can't because it's built into Elden Ring. You launch Elden Ring to play it. It's an interesting combo of a few different weird things. And because it's FromSoft and it's good, it's going to get nominated, you know, but if it was another lesser title, we wouldn't even consider it.
I mean, it's okay to relax, everybody online, you know. Just keep in mind, like, all of this stuff is very imperfect. You know, I feel pretty good about Keighley's system here. I get it if it was like a full everything mysterious happening behind a black curtain, and then Keighley comes out and says, here are the nominees for Game of the Year. But it's like, he's pretty transparent about like, okay, here's the list of people nominating stuff, and whatever they say, that's 90% that and 10% audience voting, I think, then for the Game of the Year stuff and for all the winners here and stuff. So I feel like they're being as transparent as they can be about the entire process. So I don't know, the whole idea of like, Keighley likes Miyazaki and he wants a next big reveal, so he's slipping that in. Like, I would be shocked if there's that much pressing on the levers here. This
is one where I don't think it's a pressing of the levers thing at all. Like, I get that Tree is huge and everyone loved it and it feels amazing and there's this underlying acceptance that it should be considered a Game of the Year contender. I just think it's interesting that another DLC will come out next year and we'll have a whole different conversation. Like, every conversation is going to be different with all the different factors that go into it. And there's no other like awards for media thing. Like, movies would never have this problem, or film or TV. I mean, you know what I mean? It's just such a unique games thing.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what the closest example would be.
Like if there was a spin-off show for a movie and it was as long as a movie and they counted it towards best movie or something, you know what I mean?
Right.
But it released
like
episodically on Netflix. Yeah. It's like that is the DLC of movies. I guess it's like an episodic side thing on Netflix. Would that count for best film of the year? Probably not. Tough. I don't think they ever would do that, but games has the wiggle room to let that be a thing, which I think is interesting.
Yeah. This is tricky. Yeah, I'm trying to look at like a list of who got the most nominations. Looks like Astrobot and Rebirth each got 7 nominations. Metaphor got 6.
Nice.
PlayStation Games received 16 nods, making it the most nominated publisher. IGN had that right up. Rebirth doing better than I expected here. I'm surprised.
Yeah, no, Rebirth's a great game, Ben. It's a good game.
I don't know. It's dog crap. It's offensive to my core.
You're always on the ropes with Rebirth. I think sometimes you don't let your brain accept that. Yeah, no, this is a very well-made, huge budget production game.
I feel like I'm the only person that does accept that.
I really liked Rebirth.
We'll get into it, I'm sure, in a big way. But yeah, for MinnMax's Game of the Year debates, we have the 210s, where we're going to be creating a list of the 210s. You could say the top 20 games of 2024, but that'll be airing, let's see, final 2 weeks of December, and then the grand finale the first week of January. So I think January 2nd is when the grand finale will be going live. But we'll have the MinnMax category awards going live on the 19th, and then the first half of the debate on the 26th there. So it should be a fun time going through all that stuff. I'm excited. It's going to be
very fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of prep I need to do to get ready for this thing, but it's going to be great.
Mm-hmm. I think we have a lot of different people who played a lot of different things too, which will make it really fun.
This was just a clip from our Patreon exclusive podcast called Bonus Pod. If you support MinnMax on Patreon at the $5 tier, you unlock Bonus Pod each and every week. Haley McLean is joined by cohorts to talk about whatever they want. It's kind of the sister show, the companion show to the MinnMax Show podcast. So there's even more content in here. Also, we take calls from members of the community, and we can really dive into the weeds on stuff. So if you want to more than double the amount of podcasts from MinnMax every week, support MinnMax on Patreon at the $5 tier. Thanks so much.